protein. Protein? Well, protein was brought to me in Washington, D.C. by Dr. Steinberg at the Georgetown Pediatric Hospital, because it was a little girl by the name of Akila Stroud that lived in this city today. She had sickle cell anemia. And I removed everything that constituted protein. Dr. Steinberg said, "You didn't give Akila Stroud any protein." I said, "What is that?" What is protein? One of the 19 amino acids. Are they electrical? I don't know. I said, "But you should know, because your premise rests on protein, and you don't know whether it is electrical." My body is electrical. And if protein is electrical, how is it going to assimilate? How is it going to nourish me? A dead substance nourishing an electric body? Does that make sense? Does it make any sense? Dr. Steinberg, I am compelled to ask you another question. What is sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell anemia is a disease that was given to black people 10,000 years ago because your blood went through mutation. I said, "I'm confused." She said, "Why?" "Because there's a brother of ours that goes around the world saying that God gave us sickle cell to fight malaria. His name is Dick Gregory. You tell me it is mutation." Well, Dr. Steinberg, let me say this. It's neither God nor mutation. It is the deprivation of iron chloride. And this is what all of us in this room, including myself, and I may be the sickest. Why? We've been starved for 500 years. You have not given the black man in America the food that was consistent with his cellular predisposition. What are we eating and how are we behaving? Are we behaving properly? Well, I'll tell you what. Michael Jackson made a mistake and took me to the White House for what? I don't know. Because I knew that the people that were there weren't going to help me. That I knew. Because, in fact, I don't need anybody's help. The entity needs the help, not me. I'm satisfied with being me the way I am. Needs no one. Never did that. Look, I was working ever since I was 10 years of age. I never been to school. I had to take care of my family. So when I'm in Washington, Mr. Jackson, Michael went to the mic and told the 17 African ambassadors, "I have a present for you." I didn't know what the present was going to be until a month ago. Who was present? 17 African ambassadors, Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas, John Conyers from Michigan, and Leonard Mohammed from the Nation of Islam, and Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr. from the House of Appropriation. Mr. Bush had appropriated $5 billion to fight AIDS. Mr. Jesse Jackson was a member of that house. And I showed him proof. Here is the proof. Right in this book, you have diagnostic sheets that people was cured of AIDS. Why didn't he tell us? Why didn't he tell you? Why did his dad didn't tell you? Well, that convinced me that I was in the wrong time, in the wrong place. I took my money with my wife, Batum. We go to South Africa under the leadership of Mr. Mandela. Well, before I got to South Africa, the president of Guinea told me something that maybe you guys doesn't know about it, but he said, "Dr. Sebi, are you sure you want to go to South Africa?" I said, "Well, I have to go to every African country." He said, "Well, let me tell you something. Mandela had to sign an agreement that coming out of jail, he would never see Winnie again. You want to go there?" I said, "What do you say, Mr. Conti?" Mandela would not have gotten out of jail if he would see his wife again, because the governor of South Africa knew the brain was in the woman, not his. But I went to South Africa, and I showed him the same diagnostic machine. We cure AIDS. They told me to go to hell. Thank you. My wife and I decided to go to Zimbabwe under the leadership of Mr. Robert Mugabe. They told me, get out. Thank you. So I retreated, understanding that the reason why I'm rejected all the time, and maybe tonight, is for a good reason. Imagine that we are eating the food that undermines our health, our thinking pattern. Now I stand before you tonight making these claims. Yes, I cure AIDS. Yes, I cure sickle cell. Why? It's all in this book, could be proven diagnostically from accredited medical schools. What's wrong now? Well, I went to Germany. I went to Munich, invited. We want you to come to Germany to explain to us how you does these things. Well, we don't want to hear voodoo. They told me that. No, but the German was right, because we believe in voodoo. That's right. Every black person in our country believes in voodoo. We do not want historical or empirical. We want scientific. Well, I go to the black world, and I did it. Well, they couldn't argue against it. When I was through, they said, who's supposed to help you? I said, the world. No, she said. The world. Brett Howard said, the world doesn't cure AIDS. A black man does. Who's supposed to help you? I say, are you making an inference that it should be my people? Well, who else? You're a black man. Why would you look for the help of a German or a Japanese? I said, but I can't look for the help of my people. I said, why? Because they've been compromised. All of them. We have been compromised. How could they help me? So if AIDS needs the help of the black race, AIDS just died. And Africa is dead. Every country I've been in Africa, 34 of them, they all eat starch and blood. Is that the diet of the black man? Starch and blood? Well, yes, it is. When you ask an African, why do you eat cassava? Well, it is the tradition of my people. Tradition opposed to culture. Tradition overrides culture. Cassava is European. Black-eyed peas is European. Carrots are European. So when we celebrate Kwanzaa, all we have to do is buy a pair of Dutch shoes, because everything in Kwanzaa is Dutch. The black-eyed peas you eat, the chicken you eat, the sweet potatoes, all is Dutch. The clothes you wear, made in Holland, is Dutch. You see where they get us going and coming? So I decided to retreat. I had to. It's been 40 years. I have a new family, new babies. One is coming on the way. Mr. Chuck Banks knows the mother of the babies. I said, Chuck, you invited me to Atlanta? He said, yes. I said, Chuck, you know, I don't want to make any more personal appearances because it isn't working. Something is wrong with me. Something has to be wrong with me. And I know it. Because I'm never able to communicate exactly what I want to communicate. I could do things. I built a village. I made the African biomineral balance, which is recorded in the Supreme Court as the only therapeutical approach to pathology that is complementary. That's right. In lieu of what the blood was telling me. Do you know that the very day that I was going to fight the Supreme Court, brothers and sisters in New York told